Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to complete an extra work authorization in the Field View iPad app. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to open up the Field View app. You're going to come to this page. You need to make sure you're on the correct project. If you're not on the correct project, you need to click this little bar next to Sync. Go down here to Switch Project. It'll have your list of projects. Pick the project that you're on. We are selected on the right project, so we're going to go back. Okay. So we're going to select our name for this project, type in our password. Okay, then from here we're going to make sure we're on this main heading over here, the JW Specialties main heading. We're going to click Action Panel. We're going to go down to Forms. We're going to add a new form. We're going to check Extra Work Authorization. We're going to select that. So here we're going to go in, we're going to start putting in our information. So EWA number, you may not have that number. If that's okay, you can leave it blank and that'll be filled in by the project manager at a later time. We definitely need to put in the date the work was performed. So we can change our date right here. GC reference, that could be an ASI number, it could be a reference number of some point. If you have a reference number, you can put it in. If not, you can leave it blank. The project manager can put that in. We need to put description of work. So in here, the description of work is, let's say, added time for missing blocking. So in this particular case, we have extra time due to blocking missing. Okay, and we can always move the keyboard out of our way with that button in the bottom right corner. Reason this is an extra. Okay, so bottom right hand corner we can minimize the keyboard and get that out of our way. So right here, total hours worked. This is regular time. The next column is premium time, which means if it's where their contractor is only paying the premium time. The next column is for standard and premium time, which would be if it's an overtime situation and they're not only covering the overtime but they're covering the regular time, and then double time if that happens. For the most part, we will rarely use double time. So let's say this is just a regular time issue and we're charging 2 hours, 1 hour for 2 carpenters. So in here in the regular time, this is how many hours per position it was. So in this particular case, 1 hour for 2 carpenters, we're going to put 2 hours right here. Okay? And then total hours is 2 hours. Okay, and that's all we have. Now this is where we get the GC to verify this time. That is the next question on this extra work authorization. So right here we would click the sign button and we will have the GC's name in here. Okay, if we don't have the GC's name in here, you select this plus button and you can add in a name. So let's say it's John Doe and he is the superintendent. Okay. It's going to ask us to select an organization. We will have the GC saved in here, so you can select from the GC. And then this will be a space for them to sign their name. And we click Save. Okay? So that is the GC has verified the time. Okay? The next question is material. Was there any material associated with this extra? In this particular case, there wasn't. Now, this is where we have completed the form and we are now the representative signing saying, yes, I have completed this form and everything everything is correct. Now I'm going to sign it and click Save. Now the last authorization is the payment authorized by, okay? And this section will be completed sometimes by the GC superintendent, and sometimes it'll be completed by the GC's project manager, or in certain cases it could be by a subcontractor or by another sub that we're performing the work for. So whoever is going to be authorizing the payment, we would get them to sign this. So let's say we haven't got to that step yet, but we've completed all the other steps, okay? So we're going to go up here to where our status is, where it says open with a little red button, and we're going to pick where we're at in this extra work authorization. Well, we already got our superintendent to sign it, okay? So it has been submitted to him. It wasn't revised and resubmitted. It wasn't rejected by the GC, but we still need to submit it to the GC for signature for payment. So we're going to select that right there, okay? That's the step we're in right now. Now, if we hadn't got the GC to verify the time, we could come back in here and we could put submitted to superintendent, okay, and that would say we've submitted it to them to sign, and then once they sign it, then we can change that status. But we've gotten it to the submitted to GC for signature for payment. So that's the portion we're at now. Once we get that signature, we can move on to the submitted to project coordinator, which in this case is our project manager, and we would submit it there, and then the project manager, once he created a change order request for it, he would change this status to change order request created. So that's the status we're in right now. We have completed the extra work authorization. You don't have to click save or anything like that. We could distribute it to somebody. If you want to email it to the GC, you can view the report right here. If you want to take a look and make sure you filled out everything correctly, okay? But it's not necessary to distribute to your project manager, because he will get an email stating this has been filled out and completed. But you could distribute it to somebody else. You could distribute it to Jeff if you need to make him aware, or Dwight, or one of the other foremen or superintendents on the job. And that is all we need to do to create an extra work authorization on the Field View app.